Okay, Pro Bs, once again, subscribe. And I'm delighted to be joined by the retired Tom Little.
The retired.
The retired.
That's got a strange bell to it, and it still ain't really sunk in, you know.
Wow, wow. I mean, have you managed to get yourself a motorcycle yet?
I haven't got myself a motorcycle yet. Me and motorcycles don't have a good track.
I bet so. Yeah, I bet so. I bet so.
I'm all armsy and legsy for motorcycles. Might buy myself a rally car or something.
Hey, you know what? Like, I saw your IG story probably around a month ago. I think not long after you announced your retirement, and I saw you put it into a McDonald's Mac drive, looking at a big tasty, you know, come up on the screen. Immediately, I thought, I've got to phone Tom. I've got to make sure he doesn't do this post-retirement slump.
Well, do you know what it is? I'm all right. I'm all right. I obviously I've put a bit of weight on from 16 stone 10, which that was an all-time light for me anyway. I'm just under 18 stone, which is really good for me. Like really good. I've not been exercising, not done nothing. I really don't know what it is, what I'm doing, what's keeping the weight off, but I don't know. Like I think it might have been a couple of while I was sitting in that hospital that might have had something to do with it. The food ain't up too much in there.
Hey, look, man. So basically, look, you were rushed to the hospital for your appendix being taken out.
Yeah. So it was really. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you a funny story about all that now. Yeah. About a week prior, I had some big, massive, mad feasts, like solo feast. Like I mean, full on depression scaled feast. You know when you feel sorry for yourself, you feel shit. But I'm gonna put some easy watching on, put a bit of Dumb and Dumber on, and I mean, I caned this like extra large pizza, 4 cookies, garlic bread, and nachos like to myself. Like,
you had a family meal for yourself, a family meal just to yourself.
Listen, I am telling you now, I'll be honest with you, yeah, there wasn't crumbs left, right? There wasn't crumbs left of any of it. But I had pains in my stomach next day, and I was like, I think, you just feel like you've overdone it. But these pains didn't go away. And like 5 days later, I mean, I was in the most excruciating agony ever. And then, like, I obviously got rushed to hospital, like, with appendicitis. And then all the other dramas unfolded from there. Like, I wasn't the luckiest man in the world on the operating table. Lucky enough, I woke up with my man bits, so I ain't going to be too sad. It didn't cut the wrong thing off. But other than that, like, pretty much everything that could have went wrong. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, just one of them things, mate. Listen, thank the dear blessed Lord that I'm still here. So it's one of them things. Accidents happen, things go wrong in operations and whatever not. And listen, I'm just lucky enough that I'm here and about to tell the tale of it. So
tell the story.
The most exciting thing is all this. I've come out of hospital. And all this juicy boxing is like flaring up.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
Everything's coming out. Every fight that everybody wants to see is happening. You know what I mean? And like that makes me happy. You know what I mean? That makes me happy. That's to see people getting the fights that they want, the goals that they've been striving for. They get their chance to reach out and grab them. That's beautiful. So yeah, I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Hey, we got to talk kind of a travelers, gypsy boxing stories. The two men that I got to talk to you about is two men that are quite close to you: Tyson Fury, first of all, and Billy Joe Saunders. Now, Tyson Fury is kind of initiated in his interview with IFL TV that a fight with Anthony Joshua is not imminent. What was your initial reaction to that?
Listen, Tyson's not no clown. Tyson knows there's a lot of obstacles in coming in, making just a general world title fight. Never mind a super mega fight that's like Britain's never seen the making of. To be fair, Britain's never seen the making of a fight of that magnitude. He's had the whole David A thing before, gone through camp. The fight ain't on until you're in the ring.
Twice that fight got cancelled.
Do you know what I mean? And as he says in the interview, like things like that, putting your heart and soul, bearing your heart and soul in a camp, and it not happening. That's enough to like really. That's soul destroying. So like, listen, I think he's on tongue in cheek. He knows the fight's happening. That's the only fight there that any fan wants to see him or Joshua have. It's sort of a block end road for both of them there. They're going to have to fight. It's just finding out the final details. I have no doubt whatsoever 2021 will see them two clash and they will be each other's next fights.
Yeah. Is that the insider news that you're kind of telling me that, look, you know, strong sources say it's going to happen?
Like that there, I don't really talk to him like that. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't really know. But I'm just going by what I see and what I know about the boxing business. And listen, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Like they're both in a crossroads thing. When does Eddie Hearn open his mouth about a fight and it not happen? To be fair, do you know what I mean? I think it's just a matter of egos down. You know what I mean? And I think the only thing that will hinder this fight, I don't think it'd be fighters' egos. I think it'd be promoters' egos. Do you know what I mean? Whose banner's bigger? Who? Where does Matchroom go, and where does Queensbury Boxing go? Where does what's the other one? Oh God, what's he called?
Top rank, yeah.
Top rank go. You know what I mean? And that's it. And listen, like Tyson rightly said, you ain't got no fight, you ain't got no deal until papers are signed, and he's got a lot of money in his pocket. So he's got that guarantee. Because I know for a fact he lost a lot of money on the David A fights. Getting ready and whatnot, you want that guarantee when you're putting your whole year's camp into something like that. You want a guarantee that you're guaranteed to put yourself through something, and it's not going to be for nothing.
He mentioned Deontay Wilder. For all you know, I could fight Deontay Wilder. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time I've heard Tyson Fury talk like that and mention fighting Deontay Wilder in some form of positive light.
Listen, Tyson is a master tonguesmith. He knows how. Listen, let me tell you something. He mind boggled the human robot that is Klitschko, the scientist himself. He had that man thinking all sorts of things. So the boxing public who read into every minor little detail, he knows how to get people closer to score. He knows how to make people like Eddie and whatever not think, oh God, he's gonna go with Deontay Wilder, he's gonna go down that fight. We need this fight. Do you know what I mean? Because don't get it wrong. British box office need that fight. Anthony Joshua's people need that fight. Do you know what I mean? But the long and the short of it is, who really wants to see any Tyson or Joshua fight anyone else more than they want to see them fight each other?
The demand's there, definitely. But, you know, if there is a lot of things behind the scenes, I mean, he said, obviously, it's relating to money, all right? So, I don't know, any potential payoffs to Wilder. There's a lot of people in Tyson Fury's team that are, you know, going to be part of the payment process. So is it a case that maybe the numbers don't stack up for him, and maybe he'll take some form of warm-up fight, and then take Joshua a bit later when there's a gate. When there's a gate, maybe when there's a gate in the UK, for instance, rather than move it abroad.
Listen, I think that's what this fight is waiting on being announced on. Waiting on when they've got concrete confirmation that they can have a gate wherever it will be held. I think
Depending on the site fee. The site fee. They need a massive site fee, don't they?
Yeah, of course. Which, listen, it's obviously screaming out Middle East or wherever it is, or wherever else they're talking about having it. But listen, the minute they get confirmation that there will be open gate there and their site fee will add up, listen, that fight will be announced. Trust me, I couldn't be more confident of them two being their next fight as I couldn't be more confident than basically waking up and seeing the sun in the morning.
You know, the fact that he said that, look, a fight is not close and he wants to fight twice this year, are we kind of going on the assumption that a warm-up fight will be one of those two fights whilst the negotiations are ongoing before Joshua fights Tyson?
Do you know what? I wouldn't rule a warm-up fight out. You know, funny you do say that. I wouldn't rule a warm-up fight out. I don't see it personally, but I don't rule a warm-up fight out for the simple fact he's been out the ring there and how big a fight it is and everything else. But we're already getting on with it. But what we're in March. So March, he'd have to fight by May, June in his warm-up fight and then come out, God forbid, nothing like cut-wise or anything happens to him, to be ready for like December. Do you know what I mean? Which don't make no real sense, really, other than like the activity side of things. Now, I don't see anything hindering this fight, if I'm honest with you. I really don't.
I saw something out there that basically Team AJ are ready with the signatures or have signed or whatever. It's just the Fury side that hasn't signed. It's all the issues on his side. I mean, would you kind of make all of that? You think there's any truth to that?
Well, if it is, then not. AJ's obviously more happy with the money that he's getting than the money that they've offered Tyson. That's the only thing that would ever come down to. Money. Yeah, I mean, so all they need to do is pull their socks up and get their ducks in a line with the cash, isn't it? That's it. Or they're not guaranteeing enough. You know what I mean? But there's definitely no guarantee in boxing. But when you're selling a fight, and I don't care what anybody says, there will not be a fight outsell that fight on pay-per-view all the time I am living and breathing. Like, there will not. There will not, because I can't see, in God knows how many lifetimes has it taken to get two British heavyweights of that standard to even talk about having a fight of this magnitude. So every dick and his dog's going to buy it in England, right? And plus the international interest, like that will outsell any fight ever known. I don't care what anybody says, but I suppose Tyson wants a guarantee of some sort. You know what I mean? And that's hard. That's hard for the men pushing the pens and papers to give anybody, isn't it? They just like, you can't look up and say, "Oh, well, we know," like that. Like, I'm talking to you, like, we know that this is going to do good, but there's always that what if? What if it doesn't? We've given him 200 and some million, and gave Joshua 200 and some million, and we've only earned 130 million off the pay-per-fucking view. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that ain't no sort of realistic figures of what I'm saying. But what I'm getting at is, I'm a shrewd businessman pushing my money about. He don't go on possibility. He goes on definite. And he wants to know it as well as, so as they're getting our back covered with, is it definitely am I definitely gonna receive this amount of money? The people funding this fight, which would be the public, the man who's putting it on, who has to guarantee their money, he wants to be guaranteed that live gate can come in, because for him to be able to guarantee that that fight makes the money that it's actual worth, which them, listen, Tyson and AJ, they're not stupid. They know how much that fight's worth. They know how to value themselves. So they're gonna look at it like, right, this is what I want, whether you got live gate or not. That's what I want. That's what I want. So the man, whoever's funding it, whatever, whoever's got to back that money up, needs to look up and say, right, I need, for them to get that money, they're asking A grade money, or so for that fight. That fight at its very, very best. Now, for that fight to be at its very, very best, we need to have a big, massive stadium full to the rafters, every available seat filled, and then plus do the numbers on the pay-per-view. Do you know what I mean? Not just rely on the pay-per-view to cover everything. You know what I mean? Because you got to think, the undercard, they got to pay undercards. They got to pay, like, there's so much what's got to go into that fight. Like, you can't put a mega fight like that on and then have someone fighting for the Southern Area title on the undercard. You know what I mean? Or someone in the 6th rounder. That just like, you've got to have a super mega card. Which
that includes the return of out of retirement of Tom Little.
Mate, trust me. Look at me. I don't look in no that I wouldn't be ready by next year to fight nobody. Do you know what it is? It generally do. You know, talking off subject, it's broken my heart not to be boxing. It has. It's generally broken my heart. But I know the thing is, what's the least heartbreaking about it is I know I made the right choice. I know I got out at the right time. I weren't getting the fights that I should have at my level. I'm as game as a pebble. I'll fight anybody, but it is what it is, isn't it? And it shan't be no other. I'm lucky enough. I use my brain. I've talked myself into situations where I made a bit of dough, and that's that. Like, sometimes you can't think with your ego. You got to think. You know what? I've got 3 little nippers. They're gonna feed my ego. Ego don't feed children. Trust me, I've tried. That don't feed them. Little pictures of the Queen feeds them, and
Couple bitcoins,
to make the money, to make money, you got to fight good men. You know, fighting Samson from the local chippy in a 6th rounder in York Hall, that don't pay a lot. Definitely don't.
Hey, do you know what? You mentioned in the small hall, right? I actually had a flag up on my Insta, on the memories flag up of Tommy Dub Promotions. And it was you, me, Shaz in the picture back in the day. Tommy Dub Promotions.
Man. Tommy Dub, big up Tommy Dub. Gentleman, absolute gentleman. I liked him.
Good guy, yeah.
I liked him.
He had the best waistcoats.
He had the best waistcoats. Definitely the best. He was definitely the best paying small hall promoter. I think that's why it all went wrong for him.
Okay.
Not being rude or anything, but I think that's where it went wrong. He wanted to give people, and I could see where he was coming from, but there's a reason why it ain't worked so many times before that. He wanted to give boys on the small circuit that star quality treatment. You know what I mean? And it just don't work. It don't work. You got to take a biscuit as a biscuit and a cream cake as a cream cake. You know what I mean? A biscuit's satisfying, but it ain't no cream cake. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why, because a cream cake costs a hell of a lot more.
Hey, just to kind of conclude, you know, so we can let you go and recover. Your mate, your fellow Hatfield custodian, Billy Joe Saunders, got the fight he wanted. I haven't spoken to you about this. The odds against him are pretty long. What did you make of that whole announcement when it got announced recently?
You pick any fighter going against Canelo, the odds are long against them. There's not a man born that can jump in with a pound for pound great and beat them easy. Yeah, I mean, and go, yeah, no problem, got this. A pound for pound great never goes into a fight an underdog. So he knew this before he even signed the fight. The thing is, with Billy Joe, he's got a mammoth mountain to climb. But I know that boy got the best set of hiking boots I've ever seen. Right? Billy Joe don't know how good he is himself. Because he's never been tested to that level. Trust me, you know, when I say it like this here, I've only seen 3 people in my time in boxing with this quality. Right, 3 people, and I'll name them. Billy Joe, Tyson Fury, and there's a young fella coming through called Louis Edmondson, yeah? They got this thing where they can always find a way. No matter what. No matter whether they're having a shit day, bad day, good day, whatever, the opponent's awkward, the opponent's strong, whatever it is, they just find a way. That's it. Period. Find a way. Now, Canelo has not fought anybody in a very long time that not even hasn't thought about losing, don't know how to lose, hasn't got that in his vocabulary. Now, I'll give you a for instance here, right? And next time you're with Billy Joe, mark my words on this here. Walk beside him up a set of stairs, up a set of steps, and see if he'll let you get up them first. He's got a winner's mentality, a winner's mindset. Everything he does in life's a competition. I've knew the fella since we were children. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing anybody can tell me about him what I'd be shocked about. The one thing I do know is this here: if there's a middleweight, super middleweight on the face of this earth to beat Canelo, I would bet my last pound that it will be him to do it. And I genuinely do fancy him to do it. And I ain't just said, I ain't said that for 5 minutes. I ain't said that for 5 minutes.
You've been saying that. You've been saying that for a while. Yeah.
I know he's an uphill task. And I'm not judging it on the fact of Lara and the fact of what's saying, because, or even on the fact of Mayweather. The man, completely different pedigreed animal to what he was then. But I know boxing, and I know boxing, and I know better than I know boxing. I know Billy Joe. I know how well Billy Joe knows boxing, and he's not the cash out type. He ain't the cash out type. He don't care. He don't care about money. I can tell you one thing for 100% certainty. Minus this fight, Billy Joe didn't take this fight. He could easily lay on his ass for 3 lifetimes, 3 of his kids' lifetimes, and not even touch the interest on his money. That's a fact. I know that. So I know he didn't need to take this fight for money. I know that for 100% fact, right? I know he just wants to know how good he is. And that's how he's got to the point. He's got to fight the best man on the planet to see how good he is. So, and I genuinely do believe styles make fights. Styles make fights. And you have a look at it. You have a look at it. Canelo is not the fastest starter. Billy Joe's been known to be quick out the blocks. But Canelo ain't got the fastest feet in the world, right? Billy Joe's got the best feet in boxing, I'd say. So he's got some of the best footwork in boxing. He can make people look absolutely stupid at high level. Like the punching power is with Canelo. I'd put their boxing IQ close, but I'd still give Billy Joe it on boxing IQ. Like, for once, Canelo's going to be faced with a man that is not in awe of him. Like, I'll just tell you now, from a travelling lad's point of view, we not in awe of nobody. The only person we'd ever be in awe of is the Lord Jesus Christ. And that's it. No man holds nothing over not one of us, especially fear. Like that's another thing that Canelo ain't gonna get off him. And I know that. I know that for a fact. He don't fear nobody. So I know there's everything there to beat Canelo. It's going to be a hard fight. Billy Joe's going to have to be at his very, 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 very best. And that's why he wants to take the fight. That's why he wants that fight, because he wants to see how good he is. Because he feels like a portion of his career has been wasted. Do you know what I mean? Like not through no fault of his own, and sometimes through fault of his own. But I know for a fact, listen, and I ain't just saying it because he's there. Billy Joe knows me way too well. Like, if I thought something, I'd say it. Like, and I'd say it to him firstly. But there's not a bone in my body that doesn't believe that he can't and won't beat him.
Wow. What would you say to some of the negative comments out there? I've seen them in the boxing forums that are criticizing Billy Joe having to come down in weight, come down on quite a bit of weight. And apparently he hasn't started camp yet because he's had the flu. But already the people out there have started negative comments about that.
Let me tell you something. You know, if they believe the photos of the scales that he's putting up, and they believe that he's had the flu, and whatever else they're believing what Billy Joe tells them, they're as a bigger fool as he thinks they are. Right? Because I know for a fact Billy Joe's known about this fight for a long time. I know what weight Billy Joe went into camp at. Let me tell you something. Keep thinking he's fat. Keep delting him, because he thrives on delt. Keep delting him. Keep doing what you're doing. Billy Joe, just go there, take part, shake his hand, have a picture, and see you later on. Yeah, because that's all that people want to see. And I think it's disgusting that his own public, people, his own countrymen, they've got a countryman there that ain't took it, that has demanded proper notice for a fight of this magnitude, not just stepped in, not just happy to survive. Because there's one thing I can tell you now, I know, and I can tell you this here for a fact. If he's down, he won't be looking to survive. He'd rather get stretched out. He's going there not to lost on points or whatever, not to lose by an inch, lose by a mile. Like, look, it's upsetting when you see like someone that you know, and listen, I know the majority of the reason why the majority of them don't like him. I know the other majority that don't like him might not like him for the silly things that he does, and he brings stuff on himself. He do. But let me tell you something. The same hate and everything that Billy Joe has got, and I haven't boxed on a quarter of the level he's boxed at. I've experienced myself, and I know we've had it since being little children. People just don't like you because what you are, and that's it. There's nothing. What's saying? There's nothing other. You listen, Biggs. What do I do to anybody? Like, be honest. What do I do to anybody? I'd rather help someone than hinder them. Like, I'm not like that. You know what I mean? I'm a wind up to other boxers. I wind them up because I'm trying to get myself a few quid. But like your average Joe on the street and whatever not, I'm not like that. You know what I mean? But you get people just don't like you for what you are. I've had it from primary school. Like, so it ain't new to him. He don't care. He don't care. Like the same as I don't care, because it makes no relevance to his life. Makes nothing. Not one of them's had to walk a day in his shoes and had to sacrifice what he sacrificed. but he's sacrificed from being a child to be where he is. From being a little child, he's sacrificed where none of the other children would. So listen, he's gonna go. He knows what he needs to do. He knows where he needs to be at. And trust me, do not be expecting him to be weight drained. And we're saying all of them better expect to see the best Billy Joe they've ever seen. And then when he walks in there and he's lost them all their money and whatever not, they can just bend over and kiss his balls, because that's what haters deserve. They just deserve a sweaty ball sack to kiss.
All right, Tom, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Once more for your time, man. Wish you the best best of recoveries, man.
I got right passionate about that, didn't I?
I tell you, man, real passionate, man. But now, closer to the fight and whatever, we'll definitely do it again, man. Thanks for your time, man.
Listen, I'll sit up and I'll watch it with you. Whatever you want to do, I'll be up watching that. If not, I'm gonna try and convince Coogan to get me out there as part of the press.
All right, yeah. Nice. All right, Tom. Thanks for your time, man.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you.
Cheers, man. Tom Little, Pep Talk. Subscribe. Thank you.